last Conjuring movie is finally out, and apparently they have priests blessing people before they go in.
We're reminded that we, being in the image and likeness of God, is better, stronger than we will never succumb ourselves to evil. And so we bless ourselves, we bless all the objects who remind us of evil, and they may be cast out from us, and that we may persevere in Christ Jesus our Lord.
Supposedly, people were getting possessed and even literally throwing up during the movie and after. Now, whether all of this is PR or not, you can't deny that it is terrifying. And it makes you wonder, should I watch this movie? Now, what story and what case is this movie based off of? Well, stick around and I'm going to tell you all about it. Hello, what up? Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. I'm Sabrina and my goal is to make every single day feel like a Halloween fever dream. So make sure to like, subscribe, and stick around if you enjoy scary things, scary stories, because if you do, then this is the place for you. Now grab a drink, a snack, and maybe a blanket to hide under, and make sure to say a little prayer too before you continue watching this video, just in case, because this is the real story of the Smurl family. Now, I usually tell you to turn off the lights to set the mood, but this time, maybe you should keep your lights on. Now, the church believed them, but they couldn't help. That's how evil this case was. This haunting was so disturbing, even Ed and Lorraine were nearly driven out. Now, what would you do if something invisible crawled into your bed every single night? What would you do if you could feel it breathing on your neck every single night? What if your child or your little brother or sister said they saw a woman hanging from the ceiling, but no one was there? What if you screamed for help and you heard something screaming back at you? This is what really happened to the Smurl family. Now, they didn't just live in a haunted house. They were haunted. Yes, they were haunted by something dark, something evil, something unholy. Literally, evil was all around. And I can't even imagine being in your own home where you're supposed to feel relaxed, at peace, safe, just cozy and relaxed, whatever. It's your safe space. And suddenly that's turned into a living hell. Now, don't get me wrong, I love spooky stuff. You know that, obviously, duh. But I definitely don't want demons for roommates. No, thank you. I mean, would you? And the family, they were desperate for help, for answers, but not even the church could help them. And this honestly gives me chills to think about, because just imagine you're going through something really hard, really creepy, scary. You're pretty much being attacked, harassed in your own home by invisible beings, evil beings, and you run to the one place you trust, the one place you would expect to help you. Yet, they can't. That must be beyond terrifying.
And an active in church were hopeful that an exorcism would rid their family of the demon. The response they got from the church, however, was not this one they expected.
Nope.
Both Janet and Smurl and Lorraine tried on several occasions to get a priest from the local Roman Catholic Church to visit the house. Mm-hmm. Every attempt was unsuccessful. What happened, Lorraine?
One time after traveling all the way down there to meet with this priest and talk to him, he told me he didn't have time for me that day because there was a couple coming that
was the chancellor we were talking about.
No, this is the parish priest first, honey. That he didn't have time to talk with me because of the fact that he had to instruct a couple that were going to be getting married.
It says, without even taking the time to say so, the church had made it very clear that they wanted nothing to do with a case of demonic attack and no intention of performing an exorcism.
No, they didn't.
In the 13 prior years, the Smurls had experienced every possible terror as part of the demonic attack, including the physical destruction of their home, mysterious bite marks appearing on their bodies, strange shadow creatures roaming their house, being thrown across rooms by invisible hands, As horrible as those events were, they seemed to pale in comparison to the realization that their own church had turned its back on them.
And they didn't lose faith.
That's amazing that they didn't.
They did not lose their faith, Tony, not once.
Now the year is 1974. Jack and Janet Smurl move into a cute little house, a duplex to be specific, in Pennsylvania. They're just so happy and feeling so blessed to have found such a cute place for such a good deal in this amazing neighborhood, very family friendly. So of course everything was rainbows and sunshine. But as the days passed, they started feeling off. At first, it was just the little things. Like, water stains on freshly painted walls. Things would turn on and off on their own. And then, of course, the weird smells. That is already the biggest red flag for me. But anyways, once the smells started, things started getting more and more disturbing. It was disgusting. It smelled like rotting meat, sulfur, and burned flesh. Yes. That would have been enough for me to say, see ya. But this was just a beginning for them. And this wasn't just something that would happen every once in a while. It was a living hell 24/7. They would also see this black mass the size of a person just appear and vanish right before their eyes. They would hear loud growls echoing through the night. Doors would constantly slam. And of course, they would be freaked out, which, as I always say, when you show fear, when you give these things attention and you show fear, it makes them stronger. It gives them more power. They're like, whatever I'm doing is working. And so they get more power. It's like they need to know and see and feel whatever. They just need to know that they're powerful enough to make their presence known. And that's exactly what happened. It got really bad. Jack even got the R word, I don't know if I can say that here, assaulted. Okay, let's just say he got assaulted by a succubus. Am I saying that right? Succubus. Yeah, this thing right here. Which, if you don't know what that is, a succubus is pretty much a demon. And it will sometimes appear as a woman. Sometimes she'll be beautiful and seductive. Other times she'll just look hideous and she'll stink. But anyways, it's pretty much a sex demon. That's the best way I can explain this to you right now. Yeah, but what this thing will do is take advantage of people when they're sleeping. And by doing that, it takes their energy. That's why sometimes you'll sleep for a long time and wake up and you're still tired. Yeah, that might have happened to you. Now, this entity in particular showed itself to Jack as an ugly woman. An ugly female, as he described, that reeked of death. This thing would climb on top of him and, it would do things to him, violate him multiple times. While Janet could do absolutely nothing but watch, paralyzed. Anyways, they were all being attacked every single night in their own home, in their own beds. Yeah, whatever force was out to get them, it was not playing around. It wanted to destroy them, clearly. It was evil, strong, and incredibly intelligent. Their home was a literal hell. And it was not just the parents going through this. It was everybody in the house. Everybody. Even the poor dog. The kids, oh my gosh, those poor kids, they would see a man floating through the walls in the middle of the night. One of the kids saw a creepy looking woman with no eyes just standing in the hallway at 3 in the morning. As if hallways aren't already creepy enough, right? One night, they all heard loud banging sounds coming from the walls, from inside the walls. Not outside, not the roof, literally inside the walls. They would hear voices, deep, growling voices, saying their names. Janet said she heard a woman sobbing in the bathroom in a very creepy way. And hearing that gave her the chills, obviously. When I read that, I just pictured, like, I don't know, oh my gosh, I've ever heard her. Like, not in real life, but, just look up videos and stuff. You know what I'm talking about. Yikes. So she heard this woman sobbing, so she ran to the bathroom, opened the door, but no one was there. No one. But, to make matters even worse, the tub was full. And what was in it, you might ask? Black water. I don't know what this means, but it doesn't sound good, okay? They would constantly smell this decaying smell, like something was rotting in the hallways. I just feel bad for the kids having to witness all of this. Oh my goodness. So you would think that contacting the church would make everything go away or get easier, at least, you know? A little more peaceful, you know? But upon bringing the priest to the house, things only got worse. And that's when they finally decided to call Ed and Lorraine Warren. And she said that whatever was in that house was never even human to begin with. And we all know, us paranormal lovers, we know that's the most evil type of entity you can encounter, okay? Because it wasn't a ghost that was once human and died. It was a demonic entity that was never human, ever. And it had latched on to the family and was feeding off their fear. Now, of course, the Warrens tried to cleanse the house the best they could. They used holy water, they used Latin incantations, everything in the book, everything else. But all the demon did was laugh at them. Apparently, the walls literally echoed with laughter. And once people heard about this, oh, it got big. It was all over the media, and that was all people talked about. And even the neighbors claimed they always felt off about the house, you know what I mean? And of course, we don't know if that's true or not, but some would even claim they saw and heard things like they saw shadows, they heard growling coming from the house. Ed and Lorraine tried everything multiple times. They even performed so many exorcisms, but nothing seemed to work. The only thing that kind of calmed down the haunting a little bit was moving away, which they only did after 15 years of living in pure hell. What's interesting to me though is that the family that moved in after they left, they never really experienced anything. So later on down the road, some paranormal experts started believing that the family or the couple, the mom and the dad, were actually the ones who were possessed, because Jack was acting strange, withdrawing from his family. He was also having violent mood swings and even claiming he was losing time. And he once said that he sometimes didn't really feel like himself, like something was inside his head whispering things. That's really creepy. Now, Jack passed away in 2017 and the rest of the family has stayed quiet. But one thing's for sure, they never denied the story, not even once. And they still believed something evil lived with them. So what are your thoughts? Do you think this was true? Was the house actually haunted, or was the family haunted? Was all of this just a story to scare people? Definitely let me know in the comments, and let me know if you'll be watching the Conjuring movie, the last Conjuring movie. I can't believe this. I still remember, I feel kind of old, but like I still remember when the first one came out. I absolutely love the actors so much. They do a wonderful job always. But yeah, I'm excited but also sad that this is the last one. It's like a comfort movie for me. I know this sounds weird to say, but scary movies are comforting to me. Not like the slasher one is okay. I don't like seeing blood and all this stuff. I'm talking about like hauntings, ghosts, and all of that. Definitely what are your thoughts. And if you thought this one was scary, just you wait until I tell you about, oh my gosh, this one is crazy. So I'm gonna tell you about the Connecticut haunting where the devil, yes, the devil, showed up in a hospital. That's coming very soon. Subscribe if you're brave enough. Follow me on IG, Threads, Twitter, whatever, just for updates and all of that, live updates. If you have any video suggestions or requests, you can just comment down below. I always write down your suggestions, okay? And I always make videos about them eventually. And hey, if you ever smell something weird, kind of nasty in the middle of the night, don't check the hallway. And whatever you do, show no fear. Demons feed off your fears, so just don't. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching this at night, I hope you have sweet dreams. I appreciate you taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you in my next one. Toodles!